The FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list.
Flashback.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the President from all of these agencies.
So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes.
Flashback.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that.
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list?
So we go from AG Pam Bondi saying that Jeffrey Epstein's client list is on her desk and they're going to release it, to now there is no client list? Let's talk about it. Now here's a message from our video sponsor, Outskill. In 2025, 51% of companies are already using AI. Microsoft, Amazon, Google, they've all laid off thousands of workers due to it. 40% of people fear AI is going to take their job, which sounds scary. But here's the catch. Just because they're firing people based on AI, they're also hiring people based on AI. And this isn't all about jobs. If you run your own business, freelance, or if you're building something on your own, AI isn't an option. It's leverage. That's why I highly recommend joining this 2-day AI training, which takes you from beginner to an advanced AI professional in just 16 hours. This is the world's first AI-focused educational platform, which is backed by renowned AI investors and AI founders. This 2-day program offers 16 hours of live AI training spread across 2 days. Now, this is happening this upcoming weekend from Saturday to Sunday from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. As I mentioned earlier, this is a paid training valued at $895, but exclusively for my audience, you can get it for free. Find the link in the description and save your seat now before time expires. And remember, it's free. So this is Attorney General Pam Bondi. Now, Pam Bondi had told us many times that she was going to release everything on Jeffrey Epstein.
You said last week that you have the Epstein files on your desk. When can we see them, and what's taking so long to release them?
I do. Jesse, there are well over, this will make you sick, 200 victims. 200. So we have well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. But other than that, I think tomorrow, the personal information of victims. Other than that, I think tomorrow, Jesse, breaking news right now, you're going to see some Epstein information being released by my office.
What kind? Are we going to see who was on the flights? Are we going to see any evidence from what he recorded? Because he had all of his homes wired with recording devices.
Yeah, what you're going to see, hopefully tomorrow, is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information. But it's pretty sick what that man did.
Okay, well, we'll
along
look
with
for
his
that.
Co-defendant.
Absolutely, and he had help. That's for
He
sure.
sure did.
So then Pam Bondi did this whole thing where she gave influencers some binders and told everybody they're releasing the Epstein treasure trove. But in a shocking move, nothing was there. There was absolutely nothing there. And Jesse Waters, who was interviewing her before, actually called her out, said, hey, this was all BS.
Epstein was facing sex trafficking charges in Lower Manhattan. Where's all that paperwork? The FBI seized computers, surveillance videos, banking records, file cabinets, and photographs from all of Epstein's properties in New Mexico, the Virgin Islands, Palm Beach, and in New York. The Justice Department also gave Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution deal 17 years ago. Where are those files? The Bureau of Prisons. Where are those files? So we were looking today to find out more about why the government's been so suspiciously protective of Jeffrey Epstein. This afternoon, a bunch of conservative influencers left a meeting at the White House with binders that said the Epstein files, phase 1. Once the binders were opened, people were able to see flight records and Epstein's Rolodex and a list of masseuses. The masseuses' names were blacked out, and the information from the flight logs wasn't new. Neither was the Rolodex. When we began to feel duped, Pam Bondi released a letter that says, basically, I was duped.
Now, I would be here playing clips all night if you want to just see clips of people saying, we're going to release the Epstein stuff. Here's Donald Trump telling Lex Friedman that he was going to release some of the Epstein stuff.
But a lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. You know, they do that for danger, too, because, you know, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But, yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
To declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you know, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
I'd have no problem with it. And then the AG, Pam Bondi, she came on and said, hey, he told me to release it. I'm going to release it. Here is her saying that same thing again.
Scaring bad guys is something Kash has talked about a lot, and you have when it comes to Jeffrey Epstein and the people who are like predators in this country. Yeah. They've been given a pass, and a lot of Americans think these guys have got a pass for a long time, and maybe even are still being protected right now. Where are we at with the Jeffrey Epstein list, the documents? And Kash has made a lot of public statements about this. Where are we at?
I was briefed on that yesterday. I can't talk about that publicly, but you know, President Trump has given a very strong directive, and that's going to be followed.
Wow. Okay. So
a lot of documents.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So people can expect actual movement on this. It's not just empty promises.
Oh, Donald Trump doesn't make empty promises.
Yeah, right.
I think promises made, promises kept, and that's why we're all there to carry out his directive about making America safe and prosperous.
Now, we're going to fast forward to when Pam Bondi becomes Attorney General. She goes on Fox News, and they ask her straight out, are you going to release the client list? Now, at that point in time, she could say, well, listen, I haven't seen a client list. I'm looking at a whole bunch of stuff, but we'll figure it out. But she specifically responded with this.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So we go from we're going to release all the evidence and the Epstein list. There's no reason to protect it all, right? The case is over. To now, there was no client list and he wasn't murdered. And on top of that, back in February, Trump's personal attorney, and now she is the U.S. attorney for New Jersey, she came out and made it very, very clear. Her client, Donald Trump, and the administration are going to release everything, and it's going to be shocking.
In this case, in Epstein's case, it is incredibly disturbing. We have flight logs, we have information, names that will come out.
Is it going to be shocking?
I don't see how it's not shocking that there were so many individuals that were hidden and kept secret and not been held accountable. Let's talk about the reverse. I believe in accountability. So you have to now go through your process. Now, I won't say they're guilty until they go through their time in court, but again, now it's time for accountability. We have seen for so many years, Pierce, in this country, many investigations, subpoenas, testimonies in Congress, et cetera, et cetera. But there's a general frustration with accountability. We take it halfway, we don't take it home. And I really believe that now with Kash and Pam, there will be accountability.
Now, this is a little insane because every clip I can find, and I can make this video an hour long with just clips of people from the administration saying these files exist, the list exists, and on top of that, they're going to release it so everyone knows what happened. And at the last possible moment, they put out a report saying there is no list. There is no more information. We got it all already. Does anyone really believe that? Like, honestly, is there someone out there who believes that? Now, I'm just going to keep it 100% real. They are lying through their teeth. Either they were lying before when they said we had it and like, hey, this list is on my desk. What happened to all of the tapes? There's so much evidence in the Epstein stuff that we've not seen most of it. There's most of it still somehow classified. Epstein is gone. Maxwell's in jail. Who are they protecting? Well, Kash Patel has an idea.
You know, it's the same thing with Epstein's list. It's like, what the hell are these Republicans doing?
Oh, I saw you
give out the list.
I saw you make news this morning about that. I got to get to that.
Yeah.
You say that the FBI has Epstein's list. They're sitting on it. That doesn't seem like something you should do. You're protecting the world's foremost predator. That seems like an evil thing to do, regardless of who may be embarrassed in the release of that list. Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, you know, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself, but if you release the names, right? What the hell are the House Republicans doing? They have the majority. You can't get the list? You're going to accept Dick Durbin's word or whoever that guy is as to who is on that list and who isn't, and that it can and can't be released? Put on your big boy pants and let us know who the pedophiles are. We have an election coming up, and we need to adjudicate this matter at the polls. God knows the FBI and DOJ aren't going to do anything, but how are you going to reward the FBI with a new headquarters building after their illegal surveillance on Donald Trump continues with a reauthorization of FISA, and we can't even get basic documents out? This is why America hates Congress, and this is why I'm tired of the Republican majority saying they're going to get the job done and failing.
And now they're saying there is no list? We're supposed to believe there's no list. Let me know how you feel in the comment section, because I'm just going to be honest with you. There is a list. And the people on that list are Republicans and Democrats. They're all on the list. And this is what's known as mutually assured destruction. What does that mean? That means if that list comes out, the left will be hurt by that list and the right will be hurt by that list. So they will just not let the list come out. And I need people to understand, when Epstein died, Trump was president. He was president after Epstein died, and then he lost the election to Joe Biden. Lost, stolen, whatever you want to call it, that happened, right? So while he was in office the first time, he had all the evidence was at his fingertips. He could have let it go, but there was still investigations. Ghislaine Maxwell was still going to trial. So, and you know, Trump, being president, had access to all the information. He knew if there was a list or not. Then he loses the election. And then while running for election again, he goes and tells everybody he's going to release the list. He's going to release the list, all the files on the list, right? Who better would know what was there than the president of the United States, who oversees all that stuff? He gets back in office. And now, lo and behold, not only is he not releasing the list, he's got the nerve that they'll tell us there was never a list. Okay, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now, if you think all of that was bad, the feds then dropped 11 hours of video allegedly in the jail where Jeffrey Epstein passed away at. Now, the important part about this video is that there is 1 full minute missing in this 10-hour video. And remember, this video was put out to make people feel more comfortable with Jeffrey Epstein's death and in the manner in which the government says he died. So here is that 1 minute missing.
And guess what else happens at 11:58 and 58 seconds? At 11:58 and 58 seconds on July 9th, the time jumps to 12 a.m. on July 10th. No 11:59, the entire minute has been deleted. Why would they do that? And it's easily visible when you manually scan the video like I always do, because it's an easy way to see if the camera's position has changed. And there's no reason the camera should have been touched, let alone moved on this night or any night. So there's this. I told you to take note that the video provided to us by the DOJ and FBI was under 11 hours, right? It began at 7:40 p.m. on July 9th, and it ends at 6:40 a.m. on July 10th. Don't you find it odd that Jeffrey Epstein was found at approximately 6:30 a.m. on July 10th, 2019, and this video goes to exactly that time?
So there's this miraculous time jump, and this is supposed to be proof of what they said happened to Epstein in that prison. And just to be clear, the doors that you see aren't the doors to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Those are doors to other cells, and the camera angle is you're actually looking down toward a hallway that Epstein's cell is around, where you can see people going back and forth. So this isn't really a video of Epstein's room or Epstein's cell or even the door of Epstein's cell. This is a video of a hallway leading to his cell, if that makes sense. So now, to be fair, the administration has come forward and given excuses or explanations to all of these inconsistencies, like Pam Bondi saying she has the list, then they're going to release the information and all this other stuff. So here is what the president and Attorney General Pam Bondi has said about the missing minute and all this other stuff.
Ask the Attorney General a question too, President.
Sure.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Yeah, sure. If
Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively, the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
So I'm going to leave it up to you. Do you believe the administration? Are they telling the truth? Do you believe there was never a list? Why is Ghislaine Maxwell in jail if there's no list? If Epstein was just doing it by himself? Or do you think this is a larger cover-up? Tell me where I'm wrong in the comment section. Tell me, hey, Nate, I believe them. There's no list. Everything about Epstein, we were all wrong all these years. Even though they were telling us for the past 8 years straight, there was a list and they're going to release it. Now, guess what? There's no list. There's no documents. There's nothing to see here. Just take it as truth. I'm going to disagree with you. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to all that great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer. I'm out. Peace.